so today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the Morphe Brush Collection. This is the one that's the Jaclyn Hill Favorites, and I'm just going to kind of give you guys my, not first impressions, because I've been using them for about a month or so, but you know, kind of my impressions of my first month of getting to use them. Do I think the whole collection is worth it? Which brushes do I reach for the most? Just what's my overall review of the entire collection. So I've been wanting some new brushes, and I've kind of been eyeing these for a little while, and then I think it was Black Friday, Morphe was having a sale, and I thought this was part of the sale, but when I got on to actually look at it, this particular collection wasn't included, but I went ahead and ended up purchasing it anyways. And this is the container that the brushes come in. So this is like the brush case that you store everything in, and I absolutely love this. This is like the most beautiful, like sleek, classy brush case ever. And those of you that have watched a couple of my videos before know that I'm like a Sigma brush fanatic, and I have my little Sigma brush cups sitting on my vanity. And you know, what I like about the Sigma brush cups is that everything is up and out and you can see all the brushes, but the downside is that when you have brushes that you don't use all the time, they kind of sit there and get dusty. And then the problem that I find is by the time I'm ready to use them, they're all dusty and I have to wash them again and let them dry, and it's kind of a mess. So what I really like about this container is that it's closed. So it's kind of a black snakeskin print. It says Morphe right here on the front, and then it opens right here on the side like this, and all of the brushes are inside like this. So it's really nice and really convenient. You could let it just sit open on your vanity when you're using it. You can close it. Super easy to travel with. I've gone on a couple of trips with this already, and it just fits so well on my vanity. I mean, look at that. This comes with, I think it's like between 21 and 23 brushes. They're all in here and there's still room. I mean, this thing is huge, but when you close it, it closes up so nice and compact. I mean, that's how much room it takes up. It's so easy to travel with. So I absolutely love, love, love this. I love that it's a hard case. So, you know, if you throw it in your suitcase or your travel bag, your brushes aren't going to get, you know, messed up or squished or anything like that. So absolutely 100% love the case that they came in. Alright, so on to the actual brushes. So the Jaclyn Hill Favorites is basically all of her favorite Morphe brushes, the ones that she thinks are essential, and just kind of a good mix. There's, if you know anything about Morphe, you know that there are the regular brushes, there are the Elite Collection, there are a couple different collections, and she's picked some different brushes from all of those collections to include in here. So some of the handles, or I'm sorry, some of the ferrules look a little different than others. So anything with an E at the beginning of the number is the Elite Collection. Those are kind of the nicer brushes. They're a little bit softer. The handles are a little more glossy. They're just like an overall better quality. Then you have some of the M line, just the regular Morphe brushes. And then you have some that have the R in front of them that have that gold ferrule. So quite a good mixture, lots of eye brushes, face brushes, all of that. So I'm going to kind of go through, talk about the top brushes that I actually use day to day, the ones that I'm getting the most use out of, and then some of the others, and I'll just kind of go through and give you a little bit of what I think about each brush. So we'll start with the face brushes. This is the largest one. This is the Morphe E41, so this is from the Elite Collection. This is just an overall powder brush, and I am obsessed with this thing. It is just like, y'all can see how big it is, like in comparison to my face. So I dip it in my powder, and it just covers, like, do y'all see how much that covers? Like one swipe covers like my entire forehead, like eyebrow to my hairline. Like, it's crazy. So this is just like the easiest thing to apply pressed or loose powder with, because I mean literally like a couple swipes and you've got your whole face done. And it's kind of dome shaped. It's just awesome. So I have been loving my Real Techniques powder brush. I've used that one for years, and honestly, unless this one is just super dirty and I haven't cleaned it yet, I don't pick that one up anymore. This is like the powder brush of all powder brushes. I absolutely love it. It's got the softest bristles ever, you guys. Like, oh my gosh. This is one of my favorite brushes, if not maybe my favorite brush in the entire collection. So if you only get one thing, pick you up this bad boy right here. It is awesome. Next up in my most used face brushes is this one. This is the M530, and it is a blush brush. At least that's what I use it for. I think that's what it's labeled for. You could do a few different things with it, but what I really like about it is I had been using an angled blush brush, and you'd think that would be better, but I don't know. Maybe it's the way my cheeks are shaped, but this I really like a whole lot better, because I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just that it's a little more rounded, but I feel that it just applies better. And just, I don't know, it applies the product better. It picks up a good amount of product, and I guess it's the placement. Just the way that it's able to place, and I just kind of blend up a little. I've really been loving it. So this is another really, really good one. The quality of this one, now here's one thing I will mention, because they're from different collections, the quality of these Elite brushes is much better than the quality of these brushes. As you can see, if you look at the bristles of this one, everything is intact. It just looks super soft and fluffy. This one, it's still a great brush. I absolutely love it, but you can tell even with a month of use, I'm starting to get some little pieces kind of fraying a little bit. And I use my Sigma Dry and Shape when I wash them too, so that's supposed to help even more with keeping the bristles together when it dries. So no big deal, I'm not worried about it, but if you are looking at the absolute quality, just something to note. Alright, moving on through some more face brushes. This is the M439. This is a foundation brush. I use the Limelight Botanical Foundation, and really I found the best way to apply that is with a beauty blender or the Blenderful, to just kind of like blend it all in. It just works a lot better than a foundation brush. So because of that, I don't use this one a whole lot. I have used it a couple times. I used my Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Plus with this just to test out the brush and how it worked, and I did really, really like it. I am a sucker for the Sigma foundation brush. Oh my gosh, what is it called? Y'all know what I mean. The Sigmax oh my gosh, I can't believe I don't remember the name, because I use that thing all the time when I used to do liquid foundation. But this, I honestly think I like it better than the Sigmax brush, which is crazy because I'm obsessed with that thing. But I think the Sigma one, it's just a little more flat topped, and the way that this one is rounded, I don't know, it just works better for like getting in like corners and like under your chin, and I don't know, I really, really liked it for applying liquid foundation. So if you're somebody that uses liquid foundation, or even you prefer to use this with a cream foundation, if you're somebody that likes a foundation brush, you got to try this one out because it's really, really good. I just don't personally use foundation brushes much anymore because I use my Blenderful. Alright, another one is the Morphe R2. This is a really great quality brush. It's very soft. Really great brush. I just don't personally use this one a lot because I haven't really found anything that I need to use it for, I guess. It would be good if you're doing maybe like another loose powder with a little bit of sheen over your regular powder and you want to use a different brush. I guess you could use it for blush if you wanted to. It's a little big, but you could. I don't know. So if any of you guys use this brush or have any ideas for what to use it for, let me know. Because it's a great brush. I'd love to use it. I just haven't figured out a need for it yet. All right, then comes the Morphe R10. Kind of the same deal. Great brush, great quality bristles, but I just don't really use it a lot because I don't really need to. I think, and actually the other day I did use it for a little bit of blush. I think I had chosen to use a different blush color and I hadn't, it was like much lighter than this. I hadn't washed my brush yet, and so I used this one just to do it, and it was fine, but you want a blush brush to be a little more like this and be a little more full and fluffy. So I don't know, any ideas for this one? Drop them in the comments below because I would love some ideas. All right, then we have the Morphe E8. This is a Elite Collection brush, really, really great. This one is good. It can be good for highlight. If you want a dense brush for your highlight, this is really good. You can also use it to contour because it's kind of a little bit of a smaller contour than I typically go for, but it is really good for like getting that precise area. One that I do use every single day for contour though is the M437. This one is just the perfect size and the perfect shape for the kind of contour that I like to do. So it just fits perfectly in the hollows of your cheekbone. It's perfect for right on top, anywhere that you want to contour, other than nose. There's another brush I'm going to show you guys in a minute for if you like to contour your nose, but this is really great for everywhere else. So love this. The bristles are just so soft and fluffy. Really great brush. Now this one is, if you're somebody that likes to contour your nose, this is perfect. This is the E47, and this is one where like you could just get right up in there and do that perfect thin line. I don't generally do that. I don't like to contour my nose. My nose is already kind of a little too thin anyway, so if I made it thinner, it would be like sharp looking. It would not be an attractive look. So I don't generally do that, which is why I don't really get as much use out of this brush. But it is a really good brush. If you're someone who likes a super sharp cheek contour, you could use this too. I actually just had a thought. I haven't tried this, but this would be really good if you like to kind of shape your eyebrows with concealer underneath. You guys, this would be really good for that. It fits like right in those little curves. I have not tried that, but I might need to try that with this brush. But let me know what y'all think about this one if you have it. Great brush, I just don't use it on the daily. Another really good one is the M438. This one is kind of tapered, and it's perfect if you're somebody who likes to put powder under your eyes, like to set in a concealer. It would also be really good for highlight, things like that. I don't use it on the daily because the highlighter that I've been using lately, the Laura Mercier Matte Radiance, doesn't adhere to this brush as well as another brush that I use for my highlight. So while I think if you had a looser powder, this would be perfect, it just doesn't adhere to my highlighter as well as I'd hoped. But the shape is really, really nice. And I'm sure I'll find something to use it for. But it's not one that I reach for daily, although it could be really, really great for some products. All right, another brush, and I think, if I remember correctly, this is the one that Jaclyn actually said she uses for her highlight. This is the M510. So it almost looks like an eyeshadow brush, but really, really big. And as you can see, it is the perfect shape, and it hits at just the perfect spot for your highlighter, like on top of your cheekbones, on your nose, Cupid's bow, anything like that. The problem I'm having though is with the Laura Mercier highlighter, it doesn't adhere to this well either. It needs more of a dense brush, I think. So I'm going to try out some other highlighters with it and see how they work. When Jaclyn used it, it looked really, really great with the highlighter she was using, and if you use something a little bit looser or just something that would adhere to these type of bristles well, then I think this is the perfect shape for that. You could also, if you really needed a huge blending brush, this could be great for your eyes too, to blend out just with no extra product, like blend out your eye makeup that you'd already done. So lots of different possibilities. I'm really somebody that I'll look at what the brush is used for, but I don't always use my brushes for what they're intended for. I just kind of use them for whatever works for me. Okay, so those were the face brushes that were included. We're going to move on to the eye brushes. So there are so many. Something that I do like about this collection, there are so many brushes that are extremely similar, but just slightly different enough for it to matter. So usually by the end of the week, all of these are dirty. I did pretty good this week about kind of redoing some of the same eye looks, so I do have a couple clean ones, but they are all white bristles. Some of them are just dirty right now. But I use all of these every single week. Something that's really great is you have some of the smaller brushes like this one. This is the M433, and it's a fluffy brush, but it's a little bit more, it's a little bit smaller than some of the others, so it's perfect for, you know, blending in a darker color, or if you're trying to put something right into the crease, it'll get it right in there without carrying it above. So this is a really great one. The R37 is much fluffier and much wider spread. So this is really great. I use this for my transition color a lot because it'll get up a lot higher and bring that color out a lot further. So this is just one of those brushes, you can't have enough of these. The M441 is very similar. It's a little bit taller, and as you can see, it's like a little skinnier on the bottom, and it fluffs out a little more on the top, and this is great for a transition shade or the next darkest shade that you're blending in. Just so much can be done with this one. Really great, just fluffy crease brush. The M518 is very, very similar. Like if you hold these up together, you can barely tell a difference. This one is a little bit wider, and this one is a little bit straighter, but they're so similar. So this one, I honestly use a lot of them for the same type of thing, but a little bit more of a controlled crease brush, whereas the one I showed before is a little bit fluffier and will spread out a little further. The M513, just another great blending brush, crease brush. I really use these for my transition shade and any colors that I'm putting in my crease. And then I do something a little different when I do my outer corner. Sometimes I'll use one of those. A lot of times I use another brush that I will show you guys. And then finally, one last fluffy white blending brush, the M537. Kind of the same deal as the others, to be honest. But I like having a lot of these. So even though, you know, I noticed when I got the set that a lot of these were very similar, but honestly, I was really excited about that because, as you can see, I go through a lot of these every week, and before I had 2 fluffy blending brushes that I was trying to use for like everything all week, and they would always get dirty and the colors would transfer. It was a mess. So I am more than happy to have a full set of fluffy crease brushes that I don't have to worry about washing them more than once a week or once every couple weeks, because I have plenty to go through. Alright, and then this one, the M504, is a much bigger brush. Like, it will cover so much more area. I don't use this one a whole lot, but this would actually be really good for a transition shade too, that's just really light, like kind of a nude shade that you're trying to just get everywhere. Or if you're someone who does really simple eyeshadow and you're just going to do one shadow all over and call it a day, this would be a great one because it would make it really quick because you're getting the shadow through your eye really fast. kind of places a lot of shadow all over quickly. So this would be a great one for that. This is one, the E17, that I use sometimes in my outer corner. It's more of a dense, kind of more of a dense particular brush. Like it's going to place the eyeshadow exactly where you want it. So this one's really good for the outer corner, dark colors that you really need a little bit more control with. The M506 is another one I use every single day, and I like to use this one. Got a little piece coming off there. I like to use this one on the inner corner. So I'll take like a kind of bright white crystally shade and just pop it right on the inner corner. And as you can see, this one just gets right in there, and it's just so precise. So it's perfect for that. I use this every day. Another really great one that could be used for inner corner that I use sometimes is the E18. It's just another very precise one. You could do it for outer corner. If you need something a little more dense on the inner corner, you could do it. It can be used for a lot of things. I usually, within a week at least, only reach for one of these two. Now the difference is the E17 is a little bit taller and a little bit more dome, or a little bit more tapered, and the E18 is a little bit shorter and rounder. And finally, these are two brushes that I like to use underneath my eye on the lower lash line. This one, the E36, is more of the pencil brush type, but it's different than any other pencil brush that I've used. I don't know what it is. It might just be the way it's shaped, but I absolutely love it. It's so different than a lot of pencil brushes that I've used, and it just gets right underneath perfectly. So this is a really great one. I like to use this one. I will use it for the black shadow sometimes, but I really love to use this one if I'm doing like a brown or maybe something not so harsh where I want a thicker line. This is a really great one for that. This one, the M213, is one that I use every single day when I do a look like this with the black shadow underneath on my lower lash line. It is so tiny and so defined that it can just get in those teeny tiny little areas, and it just gets right in there and focuses that color in a line that doesn't look too thick and crazy, but it just gets in all those little pieces. So this is awesome. I use this every single day. This is the best brush I've ever used for under my eyes. And then finally, the M432 is just kind of that chisel brush, and this is a really, really good one. The thing I really like about it is it's so thin and precise, but it's so, so soft. So sometimes you get brushes like this, and over time they kind of get just kind of rough, but this one I can already tell won't do that because it's just really soft bristles, but very, very dense, very, very precise. This is perfect for liner. You could do your liner like if you use if you use a gel liner or like one of the MAC liners. This is perfect to just dip in and then do your liner across the top. This would work great for liner on the bottom as well, or I've even used it in a shadow before for my liner. So alright you guys, so that is all of the brushes that come in the Morphe Jaclyn Hill Favorites collection. Oh my goodness, like I have a whole handful of eye brushes over here, a whole handful of face brushes. These are so many brushes, and the price is absolutely amazing for the amount that you get. Now, kind of my overall review, the quality of some of them, like some of the ones I mentioned, especially some of these white bristled brushes, you know, they do fray out a little bit, and that is honestly, to me, just to be expected at this price point of brushes. They still work great. I still love them, but it is something to just note if you're looking at the way that they reshape. When you get to the brushes that are in the Elite collection, the ones with that kind of chrome silvery ferrule, these are the kind that's not going to happen with. They're softer, they're going to stay shaped a lot better. So if that's something you're worried about, maybe just purchase the Elite collection brushes and don't get the whole collection. Another thing I've been asked by some friends that I talked to about this, that know that I got the collection, is it worth the collection? Do you use every brush that you received? And honestly, I don't use every single brush, but I'm happy that I have them for me, because I'm somebody, I have a makeup business. I do makeup on other people at times, and it's so nice to have way more brushes than I actually need or use, because when it comes time to do somebody else's makeup, or if it comes time to do a different kind of makeup look, I don't have to immediately panic and go wash all my brushes. I know that I have plenty clean ones ready to go. Like I said, I don't contour my nose, but if I'm doing somebody's makeup who likes that look, or whose nose shape needs that kind of thing, or prefers that look, I've got the perfect brush ready to go for them. So if you're just the average person who doesn't do makeup on other people, and you kind of look through and you only want a handful of brushes, then maybe don't get the whole collection. Just look through the different brushes and pick out the ones that fit the way you do your makeup. So I don't use every brush in this collection. Am I still glad that I bought the collection though? Yes, because I know I'll use them on other people, and I like to switch my makeup up so much and do different things that I know the more I play with them and the more I do makeup with them, I'll find uses for some of these. So it just depends on what you want to do. Do you want to get all these brushes and find uses for them, or do you really just want the bare essentials and what's going to get you by? Some of these brushes in here I do not consider essentials, but they're nice to have, especially at the price point for about, I think it's 23 brushes. That is an amazing, amazing price point for all of those. And honestly, to me, you can buy the brush case separately, but this brush case coming with it is just the icing on the cake, because oh my gosh, I might love this more than I love some of the actual brushes. It's amazing. It's so pretty and just so easy to travel with. It sits up on my vanity and it just looks awesome. I absolutely love it. So you can buy this separately. You can buy each of these individual brushes separately, but you save money when you buy them as a collection. Is it worth it for you? You kind of have to decide that based on what you would use them for. But I would highly recommend, if you only get a couple brushes, you don't get the collection, you only get a few, I would definitely recommend this one. The contour brush is really great. If you use liquid foundation, I would definitely recommend this one. Oh goodness, what are some other must-haves? And definitely a few of, at least a couple of these white fluffy crease brushes. And then definitely this pencil brush and this little brush for under the lid on the lash line. So these would be my top. Like if you're only gonna get a few, get these ones. So fluffy powder brush, foundation brush, contour brush, a couple of these. It doesn't have to be this exact one, because as you saw, a lot of those eye brushes were similar, but just as many good blending brushes for the crease as you can have, the more the better, in my opinion. And then this little pencil brush and the little M213 for under the eyelid. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope you'll check it out, and if you've tried this collection, or if you just need some good brushes, this is a really, really great buy for the money. For the quality and the money put together, you just can't beat this. So try it out. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite brushes are if you've tried these out, and leave any questions below in the comments. and I will try my best to answer them and get back to you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching and just coming to hang out today, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.